We all know what's been happening with Newcastle lately. They have gone from Premier League obscurity to the richest club in the world, and I feel a little bit sorry for their bitter rivals and local rivals, Sunderland. Sunderland have become a little bit of a forgotten club in recent years, haven't they? Especially with now the news of what is happening at Newcastle. Sunderland are currently in League One. Newcastle are of course in the Premier League, struggling still after the Mike Ashley era. Chris Wood has just signed, Trippier has recently signed as well. But after today's video, I hope that I can shed some light on some of Sunderland's successes, and in some ways Sunderland are a much bigger club than Newcastle, believe it or not. I'm not saying that one is bigger than the other wholeheartedly, but I think there are certain things that you can look at that make Sunderland slightly bigger than Newcastle. I've got some really interesting facts that I'm sure you guys are really going to love. But for now, look, here I am at St James's Park. If you could please hit that like button and subscribe, that would be fantastic. We're going to be checking out both stadiums in this video, and I'm armed with facts about both amazing Tyne-Wear clubs. Now, to do all these videos and do all the travelling that I do, it takes a lot of time and money and resources and energy, and I couldn't do the amount of videos that I do without fantastic sponsors like the Mystery Football Kit Co. And without people like you helping me when I promote the sponsors, these videos really couldn't happen. And enough people used the discount code FOOTY just before Christmas when I was promoting the Mystery Football Kit Co. And they've jumped back on for some more videos in 2022. So if you haven't got yourself a mystery box yet, then get one from the top link in the description box below, either for yourself if you've got some Christmas money over the festive period, or maybe you've got some friends' birthdays coming up or something. Use the discount code FOOTY to get 10% off your purchase. They really are brilliant. They come amazingly packaged as well, and they have a fantastic social media following. Again, I'll leave them in the top link in the description box below. If you could check them out, that would be fantastic. Thank you very much. The last meeting between Newcastle and Sunderland was in 2016, but you might be forgiven in thinking that it would be a long time until they face each other again. Sunderland is smashing it in League One right now, and Newcastle look like, despite the takeover, they could go down. So they could be meeting each other next season in the Championship. Just look at their comparative league finishes over time. There's never really been as much spaces between the two as there are now. They've both consistently been quite high during the war years, then there's been quite a drop-off since then, as you can kind of tell. And third-tier football is very rare for both of these clubs. So to see Sunderland languishing as far down the football pyramid as they are now is a real shock. It's pretty fierce, the rivalry between the fans. Steve Harper was once pushed by a Sunderland fan running on the pitch, as well as, remember, that horse got punched or something along those lines as well. So yeah, there's a real fierce rivalry between the two teams. In March 2002, the Seaburn Casuals, which are the Sunderland firm, fought the Newcastle Gremlins, the Newcastle firm of course, and it was described in the press as some of the worst football hooliganism the UK has ever seen. And this is insane. Ready for this? It is 55-55 in terms of wins for both clubs. That is how even it is. You might think Newcastle is the biggest club now. They've been consistently in the Premier League for a long time. You've seen Sunderland Till I Die on Netflix. You see bigger crowds here at St James's Park. You hear about the takeover. But yes, it is still incredibly even with 53 wins apiece. How incredible is that? And you're probably thinking that Newcastle is a bigger club in terms of stadium as well, which right now you would be correct in thinking that. But the highest ever attended Tyne-Wear derby was actually at Sunderland's old Roca Park when 68,000 people turned up. Shay Given, Michael Chopra, Jack Colback are a couple that I can think of who have played for both clubs. They've crossed borders into enemy territory and played for the other club. Any others I can't think off the top of my head right now, but guys, let me know in the comment section below some more players who have played for both clubs. The Geordie support is incredible. Newcastle United have finished the Football League's top supported club in 10 different occasions. Newcastle were the first club to attract over 1 million fans for league games, and that was in the mid-1940s. They have a fairly impressive league title record, having won 4 in total. That was in 1905, 1907, 1909 and 1927. And they are joint 9th in the list of highest league winning teams in England, joint 9th with Sheffield Wednesday. They are still 2 league titles behind Sunderland, believe it or not. Yes, Sunderland have 6 league titles, Newcastle have 4. An area where Newcastle are vastly superior over Sunderland is in their FA Cups. They have 6 FA Cups to their name. The last, though, was in 1955. Even in Europe, they are better than Sunderland as well. They have won an Intercities Fairs Cup in the 60s and the famed Intertoto Cup in 2006 as well. Funnily enough, I've seen an Intertoto Cup at the Valencia Stadium Tour. I think they were the last club to win it. Maybe I'm wrong in saying that, but they have definitely won it, and I've seen the little trophy in the Valencia trophy room. I told you just then about Newcastle's incredible history, especially their early history in the early 1900s where they were winning league titles and stuff. In 1903 to 1904, the club built up a promising squad of players and went on to dominate English football for around a decade. The team were known for their artistic play, combining their teamwork and quick, short passing. Long after his retirement, Peter McWilliam, the team's defender at the time, said the Newcastle team of the 1900s would give any modern-day side a 2-goal start and beat them, and furthermore beat them at a trot. Newcastle United went on to win the league on 3 occasions during the 1900s, 1905, 07 and 09. In 1904-05, they nearly did the double, losing to Aston Villa in the 05 Cup final. They were beaten again the following year by Everton in the 1906 final. They reached the final again in 1908 where they lost against Wolves. They finally won the FA Cup in 1910 when they beat Barnsley in the final. Barnsley. They lost again the following year against Bradford City. So they lost loads of FA Cup finals, Newcastle, in the early 1900s, despite how dominant they were in English football in general, winning the leagues and stuff like that. Their trophy cabinet could look way better if it wasn't for a few of those cup final losses there, but it is still very incredible. It is still brilliant. They do still have a lot more FA Cups than Sunderland. And for as good as Newcastle were in the early 1900s, they faced a good bit of mediocrity until the era of this man here, Joe Harvey. He captained Newcastle, was an instrumental part of their 1951 and 1952 back-to-back FA Cup winning sides. He even managed them during their 2nd Division Championship win. So yeah, their championship win of the 2nd Division in 1965, and then their Intercity Fairs Cup in 1969. Could we see a plaque of Eddie Howe here one day after what has been a lot of mediocrity in between Joe Harvey's time and today? Of course, early 1900s, very successful. Mediocrity, 1950s, Joe Harvey's era, 1960s, Joe Harvey's managerial era, good success. A lot of mediocrity in between then and now, 2020. Could we see a sustained period of success now for Newcastle going forward? As of 2021, after 14 years of ownership here at Newcastle, the most hated man in the city, you could say, I imagine, Mike Ashley, finally sold all of his shares in the club to the Saudi consortium. Does this make Sunderland irrelevant, the forgotten team of the North East? They must be kind of fearful, but don't rule them out just yet. For now, they're still on par with, if not bigger, than Newcastle. And let me tell you why. Right, let's see what £50 a night in January gets you in Sunderland. Wow, what a bargain. Let's check the view. There are sea views here, but I think you've got to pay extra for that. Still not bad. I wish I was facing the sea, but at least I can keep tabs on the car in the car park. But this is incredible. Look, we've got an editing suite, we've got a cool TV, a fan, not that we're going to need that unless there's a January heat wave in Sunderland. And then look, here is the bathroom. And look, as with a lot of hotels that I show you, it even comes with a vlogger in the mirror. Can you believe it? We are in Sunderland now, and I couldn't be happier to be here. Oh, right, I've got a video to get up. I need to connect to the Wi-Fi, then start editing this one. My life's a mad rush. It's just constant editing and stuff like that. But I'll see you bright and early in the morning to go to the Stadium of Light, and I'll tell you all about why Sunderland are bigger than Newcastle, in some ways. No better way to start off the morning than at the Costa del Sunderland here. Stroke a few dogs, go for a bit of a run, went for a sauna this morning in the hotel. But this beach that I'm on right now is Roca Beach. Of course, Sunderland's old stadium was called Roca Park, and we got Roca Beach here. I think this area of Sunderland, a little bit further up there, could be this whole entire area, but definitely up there is Seaburn, which is where the Seaburn Casuals get their name from. The old hooligan firm of Sunderland. I'm not sure if they're still around these days, but yeah, these are the kind of links that you get when you come to these places, when you come to all these cities and towns in the UK. Try and find the links between the towns, the places, and the football if you can. But just look how beautiful Sunderland is. Who knew Sunderland would be like this? Look at this. And I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who just think of Sunderland as a banter club these days, especially after the Netflix documentary. That couldn't have been worse time for them, could it? When they got relegated from the Prem, and they were saying how they want to bounce straight back from the Championship in one season to the Premier League, and they got relegated again to League One. All the Darren Gibson stuff, all the stuff with Chris Coleman, didn't a fan call him a prick or something? And then with the weird executives that were running the club, the guy who had the cryo chamber put in the training centre that cost tens of thousands of pounds that none of the players used, that he used. Stuff like that really puts clubs in a bad light, and it's a real shame because Sunderland have so much going for them. They got the weather in January, which is rare. They got the beach down the road. They got the history. They got an old stadium location of Roca Park. Of course, they're here now at their not brand new anymore, but new-ish Stadium of Light. So Sunderland were formed 143 years ago compared to Newcastle, which was 129 years ago. And look, they are now at this modern site at which the Stadium of Light is built upon. They have actually played at 8 different grounds, believe it or not. The longest that they were at somewhere was Roca Park, which is their old classic ground. But there's a few plaques here and things to show you about what was on this area before it was the Stadium of Light. These are the things that I love to see. So look, this is called Men of Steel. So this was a big coal mining area. There have been heavy industries in the northeast for centuries, for decades really. And here we have men made out of steel. Look, he's pushing a boulder up there. It looks like he's just sort of chilling. He might be dragging one up, but essentially, and this wheel here is to do with the old coal mines as well, but essentially this area that that the Stadium of Light is built on now was an old coal mining area itself. So yeah, to remember the industry that was once here that isn't really around here anymore, they have these sculptures. This is the Men of Steel. And this is a huge wheel. The pit wheel was kindly donated by Christopher S. Hodgson. Here we have yet another statue. I love when there's things to see on the outside of stadiums. All generations come together at the Stadium of Light. A love of the lads has bonded together supporters for more than 125 years and will for many more to come in the future. At Sunderland, it is this statue to the fans that has pride of place. Supporters who have passed away have their support carried on by today's fans, just as the supporters of today will have their support continued through families and friends. We share this vision and bond as one because Sunderland AFC is for us all. Yeah, so look at this. This is a lovely little statue here to commemorate Sunderland fans. That must have been after some kind of league win with a rosette, or the cup win potentially, which we'll get onto. And here, look, we have a whole family. This little girl and boy, she's got to it first with the old hand of God. And look at him, he's even got his little Sunderland shirt on and a little black cat's badge there as well. Right, regular viewers, look what I found. So we've seen the Men of Steel, the Miner's Wheel, which was there, which is over there. There should be an Archibald Leach lattice work somewhere. Regular viewers will know how much I've mentioned him. Archibald Leach built at least part of Roca Park and numerous other stadiums, including Ibrox, Craven Cottage, Chelsea Stadium, Everton, stuff like that. So we need to find part of his lattice work. It's in a yellow car park apparently, so yeah, I'm gonna have to try and find that. There was one, there was two. It should be around here somewhere. I'm gonna go find it. There they are. That's them. Right, this was a hallmark of Archibald Leach stadiums, but look, people wouldn't even necessarily know that this was here now. Like, look at it, it's in and around the bushes, which is a shame. But even if it wasn't, I'm not sure 100% that people would be that aware of them. Oh wow, here we go, there's more over there too. Just look at this. You see this design still at Goodison Park and at Ibrox. What he would do is he would have these across the whole entire inside of the stadium. It was part of the structure, but also part of the design to have this X in there. And I've spoken about them at Goodison before, and now I'm touching them. To think that hundreds of years ago, Archibald Leach would have stood by while he watched his team of people building that very lattice work there. That is insane. Sunderland are the only club to have won either the League or FA Cup under every single reigning monarch since Queen Victoria. So during Queen Victoria's era, they won 3 league titles in the late 1890s. After her was Edward VII, I believe, where they won a league title. During George V's reign, they won yet another league title. That was in 1913. Then comes another Edward VIII. They won a league title under him in 1936. Then I think the current Queen's dad, George VI, was in power when Sunderland won the FA Cup in 1937. Flipping the 3 and the 7, they won the FA Cup again in 1973, and that was under the current Queen, of course, Queen Elizabeth II. In 1888, Sunderland hired a man called Tom Watson to become manager. That is a name that all Liverpool fans should know about. He was the first man to have lifted the league title for Liverpool as manager. However, that wasn't until after he had been manager here at Sunderland first. But before he was manager of Sunderland, he actually managed 2 clubs in Newcastle called Newcastle East End and Newcastle West End. Sunderland joined the Football League in the 1890/91 season. Sunderland won the league just 1 season after joining. They defended their title the next season with their Scottish striker John Campbell scoring 30 goals in both of those seasons that they won the title. They even became the first team to score 100 goals in the league in a season, and that wouldn't be matched until the 1919 to 1920 season. They were runners-up the next year after winning it back-to-back, and then they won it the next year after that. So they won 3 titles in 4 years. In terms of league titles, for a number of years, Sunderland were the leaders of England with their 3 that they had won in those 4 years. Villa matched them in 1897 to get their 3rd, and then surpassed them in 1899. So in the late 1800s, in the early formation of the Football League, you could argue that Sunderland were one of the main players. Well, they were one of the main players. They won a lot of league titles along with Villa and of course Preston North End, who won the first 2. And so in 5-10 years time, when Newcastle do start picking up trophies for fun, which I'm sure they will, just remember that Sunderland were the original team in the northeast to really do big things. Of course, Newcastle, we spoke about this earlier in the video when I was at St James's Park yesterday, won a lot in the early 1900s, but it was Sunderland in the 1800s who did it all first. Look here, here's another Sunderland legend. Remembered forever, Sunderland AFC manager, the man, the messiah, the moment. 1973 FA Cup winners, Sunderland v Leeds, 5th of May 1973. Look at that, great statue there. Into the 1900s we go, and Sunderland added 3 league titles in the early 1900s and the FA Cup in 1937. And then the incredible FA Cup win in 1973. So they beat Leeds in the final, who were the holders, and massive. They were big boys at the time, weren't they? Leeds in the 70s, huge club, were competing on all fronts and in Europe as well, and like I say, were the current holders of the FA Cup. It wasn't just a shock that they beat Leeds and that Leeds were a massive club at the time, but Sunderland were actually in the 2nd division. They then became the first 2nd division team to win the FA Cup since West Brom in the 1930s. So an unbelievable achievement, and that was what that statue just round there was to commemorate. Sadly, despite Sunderland's incredible success in the late 1800s, early 1900s, the 2 incredible FA Cup wins as well in 37 and 73, they haven't won a huge amount of trophies since then or had much to shout about, unless of course you do count the EFL trophy that they won and coming runners-up in the Premier League Asia Trophy. Sunderland's impressive Stadium of Light can hold around, well, just shy of 50,000 people. Anywhere between 48 and 49,000 is what I've read online, and yeah, for the size of this team and given their history and stuff to be in League One is a massive shock. Who do you think is bigger out of Newcastle and Sunderland after I've been through all of this? Take the recent takeover out of things and yeah, try and look at it based on their history and their statures as a club, and let me know in the comment section below who you think are the bigger club. A massive thank you for watching. If you've liked this video, please remember to smash that thumbs up button and subscribe if you're new. What a beautiful day. I'm off to Middlesbrough now to film another video. I will leave some videos on screen, so please do click on one to carry on watching. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next one.